Hello everybody, we are in Historic today. And the name of the deck is called Cheap Ventures. And I went back to a bunch of the cards from Adventures in Forgotten Realms. And I borrowed Maskwood Nexus and Starnheim Aspirant. Because I want spells to cost 2 less. And I want to venture into the dungeon as much as I can. There's the Maskwood Nexus. Let's see, I've got like a lot of dual lands, so it doesn't really matter the colors anymore, I don't think. Let's go ahead and just foretell this and see what else they're gonna do. We're not ready with that yet, are we? Let's just get rid of this guy. And we get to scry. I'll take that. I'll also take a little bit of Hex Roof. He doesn't like that. What do I want to do? I think I want to enchant him. We'll create a treasure token. And we will attack. Scry some more. I like that, and I like that. I like all of this. It's all good. We'll save the treasure for when we might need it for an emergency. Dragon's Fire. Venture into the dungeon. Yeah, I guess we'll create a couple of tokens. Now we're cooking with gas. Attack with you. We need to complete a dungeon to activate his special ability. Old Gnawbone. Hello, Old Gnawbone. Hang on. What's the enchantment read? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, come on through and hit me. I don't care. When this enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. Scry for 3. That's a lot of land. I don't think we need quite that much land. We'll just take one more. And then we can afford this, because Maskwood Nexus treats him as an angel. And we'll throw the Enduring Angel down on there. And we're done. So this is the idea of the deck, basically. We get Maskwood Nexus down. Every creature is everything. Everybody's basically a shapeshifter. Starnheim Aspirant makes angel spells cost 2 less, and now our zombie wizard now actually counts as an angel. And since we've completed the dungeon, we get to go to a whole different dungeon now. We could do the same one twice, but I'll take that land. It's going to let me go into the dungeon more. In the turn. And if he wants to hit me, he's going to have to get rid of Enduring Angel first. Nothing like turning a 7/7 dragon into a 2/2. He's got another one, so he's okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and just start kicking it off here with this. We'll go to get another treasure token. And you can get -4 till your next turn. And I can draw a card. And I can keep doing this stuff. And if we do it over here, we won't be able to do stuff anymore. So let's go back over here. And scry. That's enough for a turn. One creature card. Yeah, I'll take it. Okay. Do we want to attack? No, we do not. We're done. This looks like an even trade, right? Because he has double strike, but he can still put full points of damage on him. He doesn't like my Starnheim assistant. Do you want to trade? He does not want to trade. Okay. Let's do this. We'll just get rid of the 8/8. We'll attack with Barrowin. We'll get our Aspirant back. He's taking 4 damage. And then we can go and afford that one more time without digging into our treasures. Target creature can't attack. That seems fair. What other creatures do I have in the graveyard? Just the Keen-Eared Sentry? I can. Oh, and the Cloister Gargoyle. Okay. Prismari Command is not going to do too much. And they know it. Then they scoop, and we be done. Alright, we'll go in and show you the whole deck. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis. We get the rewards. Remember to like and subscribe, especially if you're new. Okay, now we've got a white and black deck. And I can find it fast if my cat will stop walking across my keyboard. There we go, Cheap Ventures. And I call it that because we're venturing into the dungeon, and we're doing it for cheap. I have 3 copies of Maskwood Nexus, so I can make every creature type. I've got, let's see, where are you? 3 copies of Starnheim Aspirant. Angel spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. So that reduces the cost of one particular creature, Arcerak the Archlick. Legendary zombie wizard. When he enters the battlefield, if you haven't completed the Tomb of Annihilation dungeon, the 3rd dungeon, you get to return him back to your hand. So you can just basically, for 1 mana now, 1 black mana is all you need, and you can keep venturing into the dungeon. So if we do have Maskwood Nexus down, we have other things that become cheaper too, right? We got Eradicator Valkyrie becomes 2 cheaper, so does the Puppet Raiser, so does City Stalker Connoisseur, and so does Enduring Angel. But that was already an angel, so we would have had that regardless. So most of the rest of the stuff is still based around the idea of venturing into the dungeon, the big mechanic from Forgotten Realms. We've got Fate's Reversal. Return 1 target creature from your graveyard to your hand and then venture into the dungeon. So I'm expecting a lot of creature removal, so this lets us get them back and we just get to venture into the dungeon. This is really good because I only have 3 copies, right? I don't have 4. If they recognize the danger, as the other player started to near the end there, and they take out the aspirant, maybe I can just keep getting it back. And towards that end, we have Barrowin of Clan Under, so we can return a creature card with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard as long as we have completed one of the dungeons. So everybody in the 2-drop and 3-drop columns here, we can bring back as long as Barrowin gets to attack. In the meantime, if they do kill Barrowin, we might bring him back with Fate's Reversal. Okay, we got 3 Cloister Gargoyles, the 0/3 artifact creatures. You get to venture into the dungeon when they come down. When we've completed a dungeon, they get +3 for power, and they get flying. Hang on. 1 Beaming Defiance, target creature gets +2 and gains hexproof. 3 Fierce Retribution to destroy target attacking creatures, but we can pay the cleave cost, full 6 mana, if we don't want to wait for them to attack. We just want to remove them. Keenered Sentry might help us against things like discard, because they give us hexproof as the player. 4 Precipitous Drops. This is good to get rid of a couple of the early 1-drop, 2-drops, so they give them -2, -2. Once we've completed a dungeon, they go -5, -5. We've got another way to make things cheaper. We've got Dream Devourer. Each non-land card in your hand without Foretell has Foretell. So it reduces, the Foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2. So if we don't have the aspirant out, and we could take something like the Enduring Angel and foretell it, and then we could cast it from exile, basically from the foretell section of the zone of the board, and it would only cost the 3 white mana. And we can do this with any card that's not a land. So we could do it with creatures, we could do it with artifacts, anything. We've got 1 Triumphant Adventure, 2/1 with Death Touch. As long as it's your turn, Adventure has First Strike. So a First Strike Death Touch, it's kind of tough to face across the field of battle unless you're indestructible. So a lot of times he gets through, and whenever he attacks, you venture into the dungeon. So that's a nice way to keep venturing in as well. Nadar, Selfless Paladin, is a legendary Dragon Knight for 3/3. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you get to venture. And when you complete a dungeon, other creatures get +1/+1. The Aspirant, of course, one of Sigrid, God-favored, legendary human warrior with Flash, First Strike, and protection from god creatures. Arcerak, we have just 2 copies. I think that's all we'll need. 1 Alchemy card, Predatory Sludge. You choose a permanent you don't control. When that permanent is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you get to conjure another card named Predatory Sludge into your hand. So that's just a way of getting an extra creature out. Another Alchemy card, City Stalker Connoisseur, 3/3 with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a non-land card with the greatest mana value among cards in their hand. So I don't have to worry about choosing anything. I'm just getting rid of whatever's probably their biggest threat. Puppet Raiser, beginning of your end step, exile it to 1 target creature card from your graveyard. If you do, you get to seek a creature card with mana value equal to the mana value of that card +1. So if we have Puppet Raiser out, and we've got, say, like a Keenered Sentry in the graveyard, we can go seek something like a Starnheim Aspirant, perhaps. Or maybe a Selfless Paladin, that kind of thing. Anyway, that card perpetually gains menace, whatever card you bring back, or bring out. Eradicator Valkyrie, got flying, lifelink, and hexproof from Planeswalkers, and you can boast to sacrifice a creature. And if you do, each opponent sacrifices a creature or Planeswalker. We mentioned Barrowin, we've got 3 of the Maskwood Nexus, which we can spend 3 to create shapeshifters as well. We got 2 board wipes with Doomscar, And we have the Enduring Angel that has flying and double strike and gives us hexproof again. So that's pretty cool type of stuff. For the lands, we got 2 Cave of the Frost Dragons to turn them into Flying Dragons. We got 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants to turn them into Beholders. And the rest is just like a bunch of dual lands. We got Silverquill Campus. So if we have a long game and we have extra mana, we can scry each time. And we got 2 Dungeon Descents, where we can tap a legendary creature we control and venture into the dungeon for just 1. And that's probably going to be if we tap Nadara for some reason. Like if we have a standoff and we can't quite get things going. This is one of the decks. I may have created something before for content, but then I lost my editing crew. So I lost like a month's worth of stuff. And so I had a whole bunch of decks when we had the Great September Rotation, and I didn't have any free time to splice things together. I still don't. So I just converted it into Historic. And I went and added those 3 Alchemy cards just to experiment with them because Alchemy was coming out. It was kind of new at the time. And we don't care about revealing anything right now. We'll go ahead and give ourselves hexproof, so if they have discards, they have to get rid of the sentry first. And that's the big difference for anybody who, when the Explorer format came out later, if you're unfamiliar with all the formats, Explorer is a newer format, but what happened was they came out with Alchemy, and they put Alchemy cards so you could put them into Historic, so I did it. But for Explorer, there's no Alchemy. So just think of Explorer as a historic place, and you just really don't want to have to bother with the Alchemy cards. Playing with them, facing them, whatever. Ah, a new Phyrexia card. Let's go ahead and just get rid of you. And we get to venture into the dungeon already. Let's do it again. And we will scry. And we have another Keen-Eared Sentry, which I will take. Because the 2/1 creatures don't tend to last that long. I don't think Phyrexia has a lot of discard spells. They have at least one that I know of. I haven't looked through the entire set yet to see what else they have. Okay. We are going to attack. I don't know why I attacked with the Gargoyle, but... let's see if they want to do anything. We made them think, why am I attacking with a 0/3? Maybe I've got a pump spell. Maybe I'm just lazy. Maybe the spider shoots strange blue glowing things out of its butt. Now we bring our Surak into the area. And target creature can attack. That one. Neener, neener, neener. You can't attack me. An alchemy card. Gross. Words. I don't think I have a way to deal with enchantments. I don't think I bothered. And we're still waiting on them to decide what else they want to do. Alchemy cards. Disgusting. Let's see. I do want that. And that'll just let us venture into the dungeon, but it's not the worst thing to have a bunch of extra creatures in light of this enchantment. So, what happens if we do it again? Oh. We'll do it again. We can still ping them for a couple points if he decides to attack us over the air. They get to choose the creature too if there's a tie. Shieldred's Headcleaver. Okay, let's just get rid of everybody because I don't need to start taking poison counters. And that gets rid of Besieged. And then we'll do this again. 2 of those and a Nadar. Let's actually put Nadar up front.
All are cared for in Phyrexia's ranks. Join us. The downtrodden rise together.
We've got to reveal everything. Go ahead and cast you. And they should want to take out Nadar. Ooh. Painful Quandary from Brothers War. That actually is a very good spell to use against me because every time I cast a Surak, it's a spell. And they chose to draw a card? Ooh, I think they messed up. I think you done messed up. Are they not paying attention to their life total? What 1 mana instant do you have that can affect the board right now? Do you have a Disfigure? Ah, March of Wretched Sorrow. Very good. Okay, so they have to exile 2 of their cards to take him out. So we'll go ahead and attack Vraska because he did get an extra life boost out of that.
Never touch me again.
And we won't cast any spells.
Embrace the inevitable.
And takes out Vraska, and we go ahead and beat up on the opponent. And we go get stuff out of here to make sure they can't bring it back.
We have much to accomplish.
We'll lose 5 life. Venture into the dungeon. try. We don't need more lands anymore. Lifelink, you don't say. Yeah, I've got flying. I'm not sure what that was for. If I do this for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, no. So, we just attack. And we wait for the scrap trap to block. And then we can spring this. And you know what? I'm good with getting rid of Ursarak at this stage. You go away. 3 points of damage. End the turn. Skeleton Archer will take out my Keen-eared Sentry. Unfortunately, you can't block the Eye Tyrant, and I've completed a dungeon, and I don't need to lose any more life, but we'll get rid of you. We still get to venture into the dungeon. I'll just get a Goblin Creature token. We attack with everybody, and that should be game. So when Forgotten Realms first came out, they had different mana costs, and they took them into alchemy, and they redefined them. They modified the cards into alchemy to actually make them a little better. They would like increase an effect or decrease a mana cost. And so those changes, when they modify them in alchemy, that gets transferred over into historic. So if you want to go to Explorer, I think you use the original cards as they were given to us in the original release of each expansion. If you want to use the modified cards, that's why you would go... I don't have a 1-drop. I do, but it doesn't matter right now. That's why you go to Historic, is if you want to use the modified cards after they've been adjusted by going into Alchemy. Cloister Gargoyle wins the day. Let's go do the middle one first for a change. Precipitous Drop. Yeah, that's a good one. Nice cheap spell. Takes out a 2/2 if they bring something down. Okay, I've got that. I guess I need some white mana. And we bring down the Aspirant. We'll be done. Now we just need our Surarak and the Maskwood Nexus. And then the cheap ventures begin. I don't want to do anything with any of those just yet. What are you foretelling from Kaldheim? See, we got red, green, and white. I missed a land drop. Look at them! It's a mirror match! Who'd have thought? Oh, and you got Tail Swipe. That's a mean one. Okay, still not getting... Let's create a treasure token if they're not going to give us land. How much do we still have to go? We have to do 2 more. Another Tail Swipe. Nice. Okay, what do we want to do? Return a creature. We're going to return the Gargoyle. We're going to venture. And we're going to bring it down, and we're going to venture. Please be a land. Still not a land. This is usually what happens when they want you to lose. 6 lands to 3. Oh, and by the way, Precipitous Drop went from 2/2 to -5/-5 and took out the Paladin because we completed the dungeon. And we don't block. Hey, land it last! We're going to do it again on you and go do a new dungeon. They go digging. They've got a lot of cards there. We're going to go do a second dungeon. And we can bring you down and give me hexproof. And we can attack now with the gargoyle. Well, we could attack before, but he had 0 damage. So it wasn't much sense in attacking. Okay, get rid of everybody. And we put out a lifelinker. And we will put out Barrowin. And we scry. And we'll take the land. Ooh, Helm of the Host. Nice. So that means if they want to trade now, we've got to take it. They don't want to take the trade. Let's get back. I guess you. And that's good Nexus. And now we're in trouble. We need our own Doomscar. I think we're definitely going to die. The extra mana really helps out with Shana, and it really helped them get Helm of the Host out whenever they needed it. And the lack of stuff for us is really bad. So, target creature can't attack. We'll say you can't attack next turn. And you can. And we'll get back a Cloister Gargoyle because we get to go into the dungeon again. And I think that's good. I think we'll take both of those. And we keep 2 mana open for Beaming Defiance. What the heck are you? Oh, that's Phyrexian card. The Phyrexian Horror. Power and toughness. Must be nice. It's nice that they've engineered to get tons of land. They get Helm of the Host. They get a card that allows them to draw more cards the more mana they have, and they have a massive deck. But they get these 2 up front, along with everything that they need. Okay, what do we do? You go into the graveyard. You're gonna get stuff. And we'll attack with you. 2 lands. Okay. We'll get rid of you. We get another Nadar. Okay. Things are getting worse for us. Things are getting way worse for us. Oh, wow. Just when I think we're going to be okay. Actually, let's just take it. No blocks. If we do not get Doomscar in the next turn or two, we are done. You tapped out, so... I get a land. Gee, that's great. Alright. One, two, three. Three's good. Scry for 3. Nope. Nope. And nope. Draw 3 cards and reveal them. None of those is what we need. That one's kind of cool. And I guess we're scrying one more time to see if we get our card. And it's another land. And this game kind of sucks for me right now, because no matter what we do, it's not giving me anything that I need. So they can block everything if they want. My Triumphant Advisor does nowhere near enough damage to counter Shauna's lifelink. I can put down Nadar and venture in one more time. And create a chump blocker. And I guess we can put this down. At the end of your turn, exile 1. Do we have anybody with 4? There we go. City Stalker Connoisseur. Gone through almost half of my deck and still haven't gotten a single one of the Doomscars. Nobody has trample, right? That's it? That's all you're going to send our way? You're just being silly now. No, Doomscar's not going to help me. Enduring Angel. Sweet. Got a hexproof again. Whoop-de-doo! Indestructible finally takes care of that threat. Are you legendary? No, we'll just tap you. So our combo didn't pop up. And I think we're done. They got their combo out. We did not get our combo out. But we leveled up. Okay, we're going to do one more. This is one of the drawbacks of my earlier deck construction is I focused on a concept, went all in on that concept, went sort of overload on a particular mechanic, and didn't quite account for enough interaction. So if my opponent has a pretty good artifact or enchantment, they can pretty much hose us pretty easily. We are geared more towards creature fights. And here's another oversized deck. Get down there. Wow, 5 lands? This is going to be a 5-color deck, probably. Alchemy card. Gross. Okay. Lost a Ruinous Ultimatum. I'm so sorry. Go away again. A second? No, we're going to actually pass on that. We're going to take the risk that we're good with just the one. Mess with Nexus makes everything cheap, and the cheap ventures begin as we venture into the dungeon for only 2 mana. Ah, we did need our second Mess with Nexus. Yeah, well, we'll make do. Create a treasure token, I guess. Scry. Sludge and a Surac. Yeah, we'll take them. Alright, got our health points equal. And they're top decking. What are the odds out of 235 cards they'll get the one they need to fix everything? I'm assuming they have a battle tactic trick here. Here we go. That takes out Barrowing. Sludge comes out. We choose you. And sure, why not? Auto pay. Venture. Give us some black skeleton creatures. And get rid of you. We get our Enduring Angel. And with Aspirant out, it only costs 3 white. We can afford it anyway, even if it does become... But now it has Menace as well. Menace, Flying, and Double Strike. Very nice. Sacrifice a creature. Very well. You get my 1/1 skeleton. How did you get Flying? Oh, they gave it... Okay, you gave it all that. No wonder. Here, I'll do this one Flying. And we venture. And we get to scry 3. And we don't need that much land. But I'm feeling comfortable, so... Draw 3 cards. You get to play 1. Nice. Look at that, they top deck exactly what they needed. Almost. Almost. Let's go ahead and have them lose a life. That's an awesome animation. So they can play a Ganjo as a land. Is there anything else they can do? And we had other choices with both Hive of the Eye Tyrant and Cave of the Frost Dragon out. We could have taken them out various different ways. But that, I think, is essentially good flavor enough for you. We'll go ahead and show you the deck one more time. And this is kind of why we had a lot of fun with this deck. And especially with the changes that they made to certain cards with Alchemy. That's why I chose to go into Historic as opposed to Explorer. And the Cheap Ventures combo works well with other things as well. So with here we were doing it mostly looking at our Sararak to make a cheap cost. Instead of 3 to venture into the dungeon each time, we need just 1. But there are other cards, so if you want to have some fun, look at cards like Aspirant that's a particular creature type, costs 2 less to cast, matched up with Maskwood Nexus, and you could go tribal on just about any other creature type in the entire Magic realm here. And so that gives you easily 20-30 decks that you can play around with just with the various creature types, making them cheaper to put out. The one thing that didn't show up was Dream Devourer, which could make things even cheaper, which can be fun too. But what else did we get? We didn't get to show off Eradicator Valkyrie that much. But I think most of the others made an appearance at least once, so that was kind of cool. We didn't even really need to use Fierce Retribution all that much. But yeah, I like the cards. The Forgotten Realms cards have grown on me, at least when I'm using them. When I have to face against them sometimes, the biggest thing that was a problem when this was in the Modern Standard was that some people took forever to make their dungeon choices. Just from either choosing which of the first 3, or even when it got to where they had chosen one dungeon but they had to make a choice on the Twisting Path here, and it took them forever, and they would rope you just trying to figure out which option do I choose. So that made for long, drawn-out games, but I've usually got a good idea of where I want to go and what I want to do, so even though I'm venturing a lot, hopefully it's not too trying the patience of my opponent, just because I know what I'm doing and I'm doing it fairly quickly. Anyway, let me know what you think of the deck, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.